6. So today I want to present about the leadership skills of Indian in related company. Okay, for the question 1 is how does Vineet Nair, the CEO of HCL, envision leaderships and organization structure as evident in his statement about wanting to destroy the CEO of office and promote the motto of employee first and customer second. So my answer has 3. The first one is decentralizations of making decisions. So Vineet Nair want to spread decisions making powers across the company instead of the one CEO making all decisions. He believes that all his employees dealing with customers every day should have more to say. So this way can solve all the problems and make customer happy and can control and making the company works better for everyone. So number 2 is employee central culture. And Nair's belief in putting employees first, even customer. He thinks that employee feels happy and motivated, so they will do works better. So he focused on make sure employees feel valued and involved in the company goals. Nair's believe that Nair's want to employees feel that they are really matters. Okay, so number 3 is transparency and accountability. Nair's believes in being honest and accountable. He encouraged everyone to give feedback openly, even about their bosses, including himself, because he wants we improve together in our organizations. Okay, so next is how has this leadership contributed to the success of Group HCL, and how does it lead to the broader trends observed in Indian company? So the first one is Vineet Nair leadership at HCL has contributed to its success by fostering transparency and empowerment. His emphasis on open feedback and accountability has built a culture where employees feel valued and heard, so leading to the highest engagement and productivity. Okay, the last one is Nair approach aligned with broader trends in Indian company, where they focus on humans, capital development and social missions. By investing in this training, HCL, the Indian models emphasize on long-term growth and value-driven decision making. Okay, thank you.
So Indian leader, as highlighted in the article, reconcile their lower ranking of shareholder interest with the global trend of emphasizing shareholder value maximization through a distinctive and holistic business perspective. So unlike the prevalent global approach that often prioritizes short-term gains for shareholders, so Indian leaders adopt a more comprehensive view, valuing the elements such as organization culture, human capital, and long-term strategy. So they perceive this component as foundational pillars that contribute to sustained business success, with the belief that a well-nurtured internal environment inherently leads to enhanced shareholder value over time. And then, besides, commercial strategy of Indian CEOs actively incorporate a social goal. So this focus on social contribution is in the line with the belief that ethical business practice and dedication to social issue benefit shareholder long-term interests as well as the community's well-being. They build a brand reputation that connects with consumer and encourage loyalty by ingraining a sense of purpose beyond profit making, which subsequently benefits shareholders through steady business growth. And then, moreover, the development and engagement of employees is a top priority for Indian CEOs. So they recognize that a talented and motivated teams directly contributes to the operational success and customer pleasure. Thus, they spend heavily in human capital. So although the strategy stray from the worldwide trend that might emphasize efficiency and cost cutting, it emphasized the idea that a competent and robust workforce is an important long-term driver of shareholder value. And then one of the other significant strategies that Indian leaders use is the establishment of an inverted organizational structure. So they build a responsive and dynamic organization by empowering workers and moving decision making down to the operational level. So by fostering agility and adaptability in the face of changing market realities. So this decentralized strategy lessens the need for top-down control that is exclusively focused on immediate shareholder concern. So lastly, Indian leaders may place a higher priority on society contribution and group achievement based on culture, value and identity. And their leadership style is influenced by this cultural background, which makes them take into account the interests of wider range of stakeholders in addition to shareholders such as the community and employees, and their opinion that a socially conscious and collectively beneficial approach benefit not just society but also the long-term interests of shareholders in the ever-evolving business landscape is shaped by this alignment with cultural values.
The article used Vinit Nayar and Ratan Tata as prominent examples to illustrate the unique leadership style that is common among Indian leaders. Indian leadership is notable for its ability to strike a balance between improvisation and strategic preparation. Ratan Tata Unit's take on globalization and the creation of Nano offer important news perspective on how Indian leaders manage this difficult balance. Former chairman of the Tata Group, Ratan Tata is a prime example of an improvisatory strategist. The article mentioned that Tata changed the conglomerate strategy direction and brought it to international prominence through a string of acquisitions. However, this was not a well-played voyage, rather it was driven by Tata's own ambition for competing in global markets. The creation of the Nano, the least expensive car in the world, is another example of an inventive tactic. In response to a reported inquiry, the pricing and market positioning decision was reached almost by coincidence, and Tata accepted this spontaneous decision as the project's objective. Indian leadership adopts an improvisational approach to strategy that involves moving away from Western-style planning and analysis and toward the development of organizational structure, incentive, and a culture that support flexibility. Indian leaders view strategy as a collection of enduring principles for competition rather than a strict plan. This kind of thinking facilitates adaptability to unforeseen obstacles, flexibility, and speedy decision-making. The emphasis is on long-term thinking, embracing societal purpose, and developing competencies. Additionally, Indian executives take an active role in mentoring and training staff members, stressing the need of developing human capital and culture. According to the report, when Indian leaders were asked to rank their top duties, maintaining corporate culture and leading, mentoring, or setting an example for staff closely followed the top spot for business strategy. This indicates that even though strategy is important, developing human capital and creating a culture are just as important. The idea of Jugaad, a Hindi term of constant creativity around hurdles, is entwined with the improvisational style. This kind of thinking motivates Indian executives to give their staff members more authority by including them in decision making. This empowerment is demonstrated by HCL Employee First, Customer Second policy and programs for employee ratings and feedback. Workers are encouraged to express issues, provide solutions, and take an active role in the company's success. The necessity of strategic planning coexists with an agile methodology. Indian executives typically take charge of the strategy role. They actively shape the strategies that their managers present to them and set the agenda. This active participation guarantees that strategy choices are in line with the long-standing rules of competition, while enabling last-minute modification in response to new possibility or defeat. In conclusion, Ratan Tata is a perfect example of how Indian CEO adeptly strike a balance between the necessity of strategic preparation and improvisational approach, because they see strategy as a dynamic collection of principles and place a strong focus on personal development, culture building, and adaptation. They are able to successfully traverse the challenges posed by a business environment that is changing quickly. This innovative method, which has its roots in the Indian settings, often insightful insight to executives everywhere who are trying to find a balance between strategic vision and adaptability. So firstly, adaptive strategy and global expansion. Indian leaders exemplified by Ratan Tata have embraced an improvisational approach to strategy, unlike Western counterparts, who often rely on meticulous planning and analysis. Indian leaders view strategy as enduring principles for competition. This adaptability allows Indian companies to respond swiftly to changing market dynamics and unforeseen challenges, facilitating their expansion into the global arena. Tata Group's journey to global prominence through acquisition exemplifies this approach, allowing this conglomerate to navigate diverse international markets with agility. Secondly, emphasize on human capital and culture. The Indian leadership model places a strong emphasis on human capital development and organizational culture, while Western leaders tend to prioritize shareholder value. Indian leaders prioritize employees, culture, and social mission. This focus on guiding, teaching, and being role models for employees ensure a motivated and engaged workforce. The commitment to employee development, even in the face of high turnover rates, has resulted in a skilled and committed workforce, contributing to the success of Indian companies.
So thirdly, the integration of a social mission into business strategy has provided Indian company with a distinct competitive advantage. So by addressing societal issues and contributing to national development, these companies have not only gained the support of local communities but have also established themselves as socially responsible entities on the global stage. So this approach align with evolving consumer preference for ethical and purpose-driven businesses, and then the giving Indian companies a unique value proposition in the global market. And then lastly, the emphasis on employee growth and engagement distinguish Indian businesses from their Western counterpart that might use downsizing and cost-cutting strategies. So Indian executives understand the inherent worth of competent and driven team, which promote innovation, operational excellence, and customer pleasure. So this people-centric strategy foster a culture of continual improvement and adaptation, which increase the global competitiveness of Indian enterprise.
In analyzing the leadership style of Indian executives using the multi-factor of leadership questionnaire (MLQ), it's evident that they tend to score high on transformational leadership. For third question, and the one, how do these transformational leadership qualities focusing on creating a sense of mission, engaging through transparency and accountability, empowering through communication, and investing heavily in training contribute to the success and sustainable growth of Indian company? There were 4 types of answer, which is the first one is developing a sense of mission. Indian leaders provide their workers with a great purpose by merging a social mission with a corporate goals. This sense of a purpose encourage a dedication to the welfare of society, helps them to achieve organizational and individual goals, and inspire workers by giving their job reasons. For the next answer is the engaging through transparency and accountability. Indian leaders encourage openness and reciprocity, promoting a culture of trust and accountability. Transparency interaction creates a sense of shared responsibility and strengthens their bonds between the leaders and the employees. Employee satisfaction, improved working conditions, and also a greater dedication to the success of the organization have been impacted by this engagement. For the third point is the empowering through the communication. Indian leaders motivate their employees by encouraging them to express their opinion, contribute ideas, and actively participate in decision making. This method improves problem-solving skills and develops them a greater sense of responsibility among the staff, while relying on the workforce collective intelligence to come up with innovative solutions. And for the last point, which is the investing extensively in training. By putting a major investment in their staff development, the workers will be improved by their abilities and capabilities. This guarantees a workforce of the greatest level and encourage a culture of the continuous growth and education. The employee or the worker with a proper training are more likely to be able to innovate, adapt to shifting market conditions, and improve the company's long-term success. For the second part of the question is how this leadership practice differ from the most transactional style often observed in the Western CEOs. For the first point, which is the prioritize long-term relationships. Indian leaders particularly place a high priority on developing a sense of mission among their employees, being honest in their communication and through empowering them communication. However, for the short-term contractual relationship based on the series of the traits are typically of transactional leadership in the West, which is where the employees are influenced by performance-based incentive and also the penalties. For the second point is the focus on social mission. Indian leaders combine social mission with a company goal, seeing the impact on society as an essential part of their techniques. This contrasts with the transactional strategy applied in the West, where obtaining financial goals and increasing the shareholder value frequently serve as the primary objective without necessarily putting a high value on broader social responsibility. For the third point, which is the employee growth as a strategic priority, realizing the importance of human capital in ensuring long-term success, Indian leaders see significant investment in the staff development as a tactical important. On the other hand, during the economic downturns, certain CEOs in the West may put a higher priority on a cost-cutting measure than on putting the workers into the training and development initiative. And for the last point, for the second part of this question, which is the leadership participation in the strategy, since the transactional leaders in the West can delegate strategy development to profit center heads, depending more on planning analysis than developing a culture that supports strategy evolution, Indian leaders actively guide the company's strategy and view it as a dynamic, evolving process.
I will continue with the question number 3.3, which is what impact do they have on employee commitment, organizational culture, and long-term business competitiveness? Vinod Nayar's leadership style at HCL has a substantial on employee commitment, organizational culture, and long-term business competitiveness. His employee-first and customer-second philosophy emphasized the necessity of prioritizing employee enjoyment and empowerment. So the first point is what impact on employee commitment. The transformative leadership such as generating a sense of mission, transparency, responsibility, and empowering communication all enhance the employee commitment. Employees are more likely to be dedicated to their work and the organization when they feel connected to a meaningful mission, communicate openly and transparently with their leaders, and have the authority to contribute and to make a decision. This strategy has helped to foster a strong sense of dedication among employees who feel valued and recognized as crucial assets to the organization. So for the second point is impact on organizational culture. Leadership techniques in Indian organization which prioritize over organizational culture and employee development are crucial in creating a good and cohesive work environment. By investing in training and focusing on talent management and development, this firm fosters a culture of continual learning, growth, and diversity. This in turn contributes to a strong organizational culture that values creativity, collaboration, and a common sense of purpose. So for the last point, which is impact on long-term business competitiveness, the previously discussed leadership strategies such as extensively investing in training and focusing on employee development, which help to ensure a long-term corporate competitiveness. Investing in employee development can ensure that organization workforce have the skill and competency to adapt to the changing market condition and promote innovation. Furthermore, a positive organizational culture and a strong employee dedication can contribute to the greater productivity, customer satisfaction, and overall business performance by providing the organization with a long-term competitive advantage. Naya's approach, like the broader Indian leadership tendencies, differs from the more transactional techniques seen among Western CEOs. Transformational leadership attributes such as focusing on mission creation, engaging via openness and responsibility, empowering through communication, as well as investing extensively in training, all that contribute to Indian organization success and long-term growth. So for the last question, is the Indian way transferable? What is our group's comments? So the Indian way of leadership, which emphasizes employee development, organizational culture, and long-term business competitiveness, offers a unique and appealing approach to create organizational success. While the techniques that define Indian leadership stem from the unique circumstances of the Indian economy and society, they contain useful lessons that can be applied to other situations. So, from our thought, leadership approach observed in Indian businesses, such as investing in human resources, cultivating a sense of social mission, and prioritizing long-term strategy, have the potential to provide significant insight to leaders and organizations around the world. The emphasis on employee development and organizational culture is consistent with broader trends in management theory, which acknowledge the importance of human capital and a healthy work environment in generating long-term corporate performance. However, it is crucial to recognize that the transferability of the Indian way may be influenced by contextual factors such as distinct business climate, cultural norms, and regulatory frameworks in different countries. For example, the prioritization of shareholder interests in Western business contexts may represent a contrast to the lower ranking of shareholder interests observed among Indian CEOs. Furthermore, the expectation of the investment community and the broader business culture may have an impact on the long-term viability of Indian way methods. While the principle of employee-centric leadership and long-term strategy emphasis are valuable, Their implementation in different locations may necessitate careful adaptation and alignment with local business dynamics and stakeholders' expectations. So, in conclusion, while the Indian way provides a useful leadership insights, its applicability to various contexts may necessitate careful evaluation of contextual elements and customization to align with the distant business landscape and stakeholders' expectation in different locations. However, the Indian's way idea of human development, organizational culture, and long-term strategic emphasis can inspire executives looking to improve their organization's performance and sustainability. That's all from our group. Thank you.